Hey everyone, you're watching In Studio, and today we have Glenn Howerton.
That's me.
How are you? Thanks for coming in.
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How's your day been?
Day's been pretty good so far. Yeah, I usually spend most of my days feeling very, very sleepy, which I think is a result of maybe getting older, but also having kids. And today I'm not sleepy.
See,
So that's like a big deal for me.
I'm not sleepy, but I was kind of sleepy because I had Chinese food for lunch, which was not a good idea.
You can't do that. I'd be asleep right now. I'd be taking a nap.
Now you're here at the THR office with the post-Oscars madness. Yeah. Were you able to watch the show, and what was your take on it?
I watched a little bit of it. Can I be honest with you? I haven't been nominated for an Oscar yet.
So it's coming.
And so I've been not as interested in watching it. I feel like I'll definitely be if I get nominated for an Oscar one day, I'll be I'm super into the Oscars this year for some reason. Hopefully. Although I did, weirdly, Sonny has almost never been nominated for any awards. I don't know what that's all about. Just a big old snub is what that is. But we did get nominated for a People's Choice Award.
Was it you or Charlie who told the story that you guys weren't invited to the?
Yeah, we were not invited to the show. I didn't even know we were nominated.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I found out on Twitter as I was scrolling through Twitter. Somebody was like, "Oh, congratulations on your People's Choice Award." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
That's so funny.
That's in New York, right? I'm in LA. Yeah, and then what was even better than that?
Maybe the invitation got lost in the mail. That's
no. They literally were like, "Oh, Sonny won. We're just not even going to announce that category this year." And they just didn't even announce it. And then we had to call them and say, "Hey, is there an actual physical award?" And they were like, "Yeah." We're like, "Can you send it to us? Can I have it?" And they were like, "Yeah, fine. We'll mail it to you." They mailed it to us. Classy.
Shout out to the People's Choice.
Yeah. The people have spoken.
Now, jumping into AP Bio, when you first got the script, what drew you to the project? Because you said you felt like Jack was written for you. How is that possible?
Well, it wasn't, but it felt like it was. It was just my sense of humor. I mean, but weirdly, Mike's style of writing, Mike O'Brien, the showrunner, his style of writing is different than my style of writing. Yet somehow, there's this there's this great area in the Venn diagram of where our sense of humors meet, and I just love his sense of humor. I just think he's the funniest dude, and the script just slayed me. And I actually didn't want. I was thinking maybe I'll go do a drama or I'll go do something totally different, and this thing just killed me. And I actually really liked that it had so much of what I think is funny in it, yet it wasn't like Sonny as a show. There was some crossover with the character, but the show itself is very, very different. And we were kind of talking before. It feels like a little bit of a cable network show hybrid. It doesn't feel like a network show.
It does not feel like a network show at all. Which I think it can get a huge compliment too.
I think it's a compliment mostly insofar as it doesn't feel like any show at all.
The way it's shot too is very different, and
it doesn't have the I like anything that stands out and kind of puts its own stamp on the world, and I feel like this show does that. If it so I don't have a problem with network shows, but I just like that the show stands out. I like that it doesn't feel like other network shows just because I don't want it to feel like anything else.
Now, Mike O'Brien, the show creator, is obviously an SNL alum, and Lauren is attached as executive producer, as is Seth Meyers. Starting out in your career, was SNL ever something you would have wanted to do?
Yes, absolutely, man. I started watching SNL probably when I was in 5th or 6th grade, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And I thought maybe I wanted to try to be a cast member, but then I started taking acting very, very seriously. And so sort of just going into comedy was not necessarily my goal, so I shifted. That was always a dream of mine. It just looks like so much fun.
What would your SNL...
But you think, but should I pressure Lauren, or should I put the pressure on?
You can still go on, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, I'm not sure he knows who I am. I'm not entirely certain he knows who I am.
That
sounds weird, right?
That is kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. He might.
Does he have any notes for you on the AP Bio? Has he given you any, what does a Lauren note look like?
No, but I've gotten a couple phone calls from him, and he's very gracious, and I've hung out with him a handful of times. I'm joking. I have hung out with him. He's actually great. He's a lot of fun to hang out with, and every time he's ever called me and left me a voicemail, I've saved it. Just because, again, having been such a fan of SNL for so many years, being able to go to my voicemail and see Lorne Michaels on there, it's just cool, man.
So crazy. What would your SNL audition have looked like if you did audition?
It would have been I would have been playing a lot of characters. Yeah. But I don't know exactly what. I don't know that I'd really be doing so many. Like, I think you have to do some impressions, though.
No.
And I don't know that that's really something that I do. Characters I could do, but impressions, I don't know. Maybe.
Like spot on impressions, I don't know. That's
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's necessarily my strong suit, but it's also not something I've particularly worked on. So, I don't know. Maybe there's potential there.
now we see where we see you last in AP Bio. Season 1, you're about to leave the school.
Yeah.
Then nope, you stay. What did you want to see for season 2?
Well, Mike's idea for season 2 was to have Jack, rather than constantly trying to get out of Toledo, have him immersed in Toledo a little bit more, which I liked. It's a little bit more of a positive intention for the character. So he has my character writing a philosophy book on why people in his hometown of Toledo are so happy, which is something he of course can't fathom, people being in a small town. You know, I mean, he sees himself as a big city elitist kind of guy, and he thinks that's how you find happiness is through, you know, status. So he can't fathom why people in this small town can be happy, and they are, and he finds it fascinating. So he writes a book about it. So season 2, he's immersed in his city a little bit more, and in the relationships within the school. So it's I think it's an opportunity for my character to be able to have a reason for enjoying the people that he's around, while also being able to take a step back and go, oh, by the way, I'm only doing this because of my book.
Were you from a small town growing up, or you were born in Japan? That's correct.
Yeah, I lived all over the world. I'd lived in Korea, Japan, England, but then we moved to Montgomery, Alabama when I was 10, and that's I consider that my hometown because that's where I spent most of my youth, and then my whole family still lives there. So yeah.
Did you make it back over?
Yeah, all the time. It's funny. I tell people I'm from Alabama. They're like, I guess people are always like, you look like you're from the East Coast. I guess I just don't seem like a dude.
It's the sweater.
It's a very it's
the boots
like,
and the
yeah. It's very East Coasty. Yeah, this is not something you go hunting in. You know, it's not something you go fishing.
You could.
You could.
You just get a little dirty.
You get it dirty, and you know, if you've got enough money, who cares?
Now, what were you like as a high school student back then?
I'm a bit of a people pleaser, so I think I was whoever, like, if I was a good student because I wanted the teachers to like me. I was funny because I wanted the other students to like me. So I just didn't want to get beat up. I just wanted to be happy. I wanted to be cool, but I also didn't want to be too cool because that seemed lame too. Is that a weird thing to say? I guess it just felt like, it's like I didn't want to conform to anybody's idea of cool, but I also didn't want to be not cool. So I kind of found my
semi-cool.
Yeah, I was like doing
Cool
sports.
in your own right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing sports and theater, which I don't
That's
know
cool.
if my kids. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right?
I think so.
But I didn't do choir. I did that when I was younger, but that felt like in high school I was like,
That wouldn't be cool. Yeah.
yeah, I felt like that wasn't cool.
Did you take any AP classes?
I took one AP class. I took AP history. It was a huge mistake.
Why?
I made my first F ever. Yeah, just flunked it hard.
It's bad. Why was that?
Because I got in there and I was like, I don't know why I took AP history. It was always my worst subject. And so I didn't have any knowledge of history going into the class. So I had no foundational knowledge. And then and then I realized, I was like, oh, I don't care about this. What have I done? It was sort of like in the back of my, I was like, what have I done? Why am I in this class? And then I made an F.
And now you're making history with your roles. I was actually in the AP French. I can't speak any French. I don't know how that worked out. I didn't flunk it. I got an A.
Yeah, but you didn't follow through.
Yeah, I just didn't keep with it.
You didn't keep up with it. You didn't go and immerse. You need to do an immersion program to really
Yeah.
learn a language.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Now, did you have any teachers like Jack? I'm assuming not.
No.
It seems like the worst class ever, but also the best class. Like I think I'd want to be in it.
Yeah. I think it depends on what kind of student you are. I mean, I think that's what's so funny about the show. One of the things I love about the show is that every other show about a high school, you know, it's always like the teacher who's there to like teach the kids, and the kids are rowdy and he's got to turn them around. But this is the opposite. Like, this is a guy who I think most people would say they would want to be their teacher because he just lets them do whatever they want. They don't have to do any of the work in the class, which is what most kids want.
And they become part of like his squad. Like they were kind of his.
Yeah. Yet at the same time, they're like, can you please teach us? We care about this stuff. Like, we like
Trying
this.
to go to Harvard here.
We're trying to go and get into a good college, and I'm not sure I'm going to pass the AP exam, and I'm frightened, and I need your help. And I just refuse to teach them anything. It's pretty mean. It's pretty mean. But I'm
It's tough.
teaching them sort of about life,
Yeah.
you know,
And
sort of life
revenge.
lessons and revenge, and maybe what not to become.
I guess so.
Yeah, like they look at me
don't
and they're
become Jack kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. They look at me and they go, "Oh, that's an angry person. I don't. Maybe I should not. But I should be careful of that."
But he's a funny person.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's funny, and I think he's likable in his own way. I like him.
What for season 2? What were some of your favorite episodes to shoot that are coming up?
Oh gosh, we did an episode called I think at the time it was called Wednesday 8 a.m. I think was the name of the episode. But basically, it's an episode that takes place in real time, and it's a work of art. It's almost like to me it's like an Oscar. To bring it back around to the Oscars, it is an Oscar-worthy short film. It takes place during the first 30 minutes of school, and you just follow all these different characters through their process of getting of what they do when they get to the school, and it's almost like this beautiful mundane dance, but it's one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen. I mean, we screened it for the whole cast and crew, and I was like, I've never been I've almost never been that proud of something in my entire life. It's so fantastic.
That's so awesome. Well,
Yeah.
there's your Emmy then.
What's that?
Your Emmy. There it is.
I don't know. Do you think they're watching? Guys, where's my
The
Emmy?
voters are watching right now.
Are you guys? Are the voters watching? Yeah. Where's my Emmy?
One of the funnier episodes in season 2 was revolved around nuns and their interrogation of the students, and also Jack's fear of them because
Yeah.
his days in Sunday school. What was that episode like for someone?
That was a lot of fun. I was not Catholic growing up. I was Methodist, so I didn't experience the fear and intimidation that can come with having a strict person in your life like a nun. But it's very funny to watch Jack wither and almost become a child again when he encounters these nuns who represent I think something from his childhood. So it's fun when he encounters these nuns. You see him immediately change. He almost becomes a little kid again.
He's like crying in this scene.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Going back to what you were kind of talking about earlier, how it doesn't feel like a network comedy. It is on NBC. Are there jokes that kind of go too far that have been left on the cutting room floor? And if so, what were they?
They've been pretty open to the show being pretty. I mean, again, one of the things I love about the show is it's sort of a dark, cynical character by character, but he's surrounded by such happy, jovial, sort of lovely, positive people.
Patton also.
Patton and Paula Pell.
The teacher trio.
Yeah, so I think the show, we get away with a lot of cynical, darker humor from my character because it's offset really well with the sort of joy and happiness coming from the other characters, and I think also in the one of the great things about the golden age of television, which I guess we're still in, is we've been able to really explore the dark side of humanity. But I think we're pretty up to here with that. I think so. It's nice to see all this positivity on TV done in a way that's so funny. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things about Mike O'Brien's humor is he knows how to make happy people funny.
Yeah. Now, comparing it, though, to your experience on It's Always Sunny, where I feel like you're allowed to do a lot, how has that been different?
Not very.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's a tremendous amount of freedom on this show to improvise and certainly to ad-lib. And, I'm on set. I'm always... my goal is always to make whoever I'm in the scene with laugh, just because that amuses me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's me having fun, and I feel like whenever an actor is truly having fun on camera, it comes across. I feel like that vibe comes across.
It's given the scene like power almost in a way.
Yeah.
Like
And
feeling
it feels it's got to feel like it's very important to me for a performance to feel like the words are coming out of this character's mouth for the first time. I don't know why, but that's always been really important to me. I never wanted something to feel rehearsed.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I have to bring I have to act each take as if it's happening for the first time, and sometimes that means messing with the dialogue a little bit. It just means I have to mess around a little bit. I can't just do it as it is scripted because it starts to feel too rehearsed.
Has there been a lot of improv on AP5?
I mean, improv's a little much because when I think of improv, I think of sort of long stream of consciousness, but more ad libbing. Yeah, kind of doing a little dance with the words that are there.
Now, looking back to creating It's Always Sunny, what do you remember most about kind of the struggles of getting it off the ground?
Well, the three of us, Rob, Charlie, and I, were not writers.
Yeah.
Rob had done some writing. He'd written a few screenplays. He'd written, I think, maybe a pilot. I don't know, but we really did not have a tremendous amount of experience writing, so we had to figure out how to do that on the fly. But also, the three of us didn't really have any preconceived notions as to what a half hour of television had to be, which we, I think, used well to our advantage because we were able to, I don't know, just do what we felt like we thought was funny. I mean, our golden rule has always been to, like, I've always thought the two of them were just the funniest, smartest people I've ever met. So if I could make them laugh, I know I was on the right track. And if I could come up with a storyline or a story turn or a plot twist that they felt like was clever, then I knew I was on the right track. And I think the same goes for them. So, you know, really, we tried to stick to just making a show that we thought was great, and in the hopes that other people would think it was good too.
Now, when you were studying at Juilliard, is It's Always Sunny something you ever thought you'd end up doing, or?
No. I mean, I really saw myself being a theater actor. I mean, it's not that I didn't have any interest in doing television and film. I definitely did. I don't know. I mean, I really loved theater and classical theater, and then I got out of school and started auditioning for everything, and comedy just kept. I kept sort of denying it, but it just kept pulling me towards it. I don't know what that was, and I think I always had a knack for it, maybe, and I always loved it. I mean, I was always a little bit of a class clown, and I think it was inevitable that I was going to get pulled into comedy. But
Thank God you did.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
For It's Always Sunny, do you see you being able to starring in season 14? Are there any plans for that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we're in talks about season 14 right now.
Yeah.
The writers' room on that's going to start in a couple months.
Will we see more of Dennis though, or?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
great
that's
news.
the plan.
Breaking news right
I
here.
love. I mean, look, I love that show so much. I mean, that's my baby. That's my creation, my co-creation. And I will always be involved in that show, I think, in some form or other. You know, how much I can be involved in will be somewhat dictated by what else I'm doing, but you know, it's always going to be something that I care deeply about, and I'm gonna put my heart and soul into when I can.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Now, viewers have one path to go on, either Jack's or Dennis's. Who would you advise them to choose?
Well, definitely don't go on Dennis's path. That's extremely easy. Yeah, I think they're both. I think they're both potentially redeemable, but I think it'd be much easier to redeem Jack. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Now you can check you out when season 2 comes back on March 7th. Thank you so much for being here. This was a blast.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
That's great.